What's going on, guys? My name is Dallas, aka Infernus, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you a quite interesting story that happened to me in 6th grade when we went on a 6th grade science field trip for 1 week, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who's gone on a 6th grade science field trip for an entire week, and this was so many years ago, and it's a scary story. Okay, so yeah, get ready to just die. Get ready to just die when I tell you this story, and it's gonna be great. Anyways, the story. So, I'm in 6th grade. Oh wait, let's set the mood. Let's turn on some scary music. Alright, I was in 6th grade. Well, I guess we don't really need scary music right now because it's not really scary. Not just yet. Alright, so, in 6th grade, we went on this field trip. And in that field trip, we went on this huge bus. Alright, we lived in this really rich town, okay, so everyone had money, yeah, and the bus was VIP. There was a massage machine in each chair, and there was like a TV in front of each seat, and it was a nice VIP bus, and we took that bus all the way up into the middle of nowhere. And you would think that for a science camp that was an entire week, which by the way cost $500, it cost $500 to go on this field trip, okay, you would think that for all that we would go in a fairly decent place, like not too far away from civilization, but yet, you know, kind of like in the forest. And that's kind of like where we went, except we were in the absolute middle of nowhere. We were in the absolute middle of nowhere. And I'll tell you one thing, that was not to my advantage, okay? So, we drove about maybe 2.5 hours up in, I don't even know where we were, but I looked up this place on Google Maps eventually. And apparently it is like 10 or 15 mile radius away from any civilization. There's like literally nothing other than that. There's not even a single outhouse. Alright, other than that one science camp where we went. And we showed up there after like 2.5 hours on this VIP bus, which I'm not gonna lie, wasn't that bad. And so we got there, and immediately, well, this is the entire 6th grade, right? And my school was huge, so there was like 500 kids in the entire 8th grade. 500 kids, okay? So, and there's probably at least 15 teachers, I'm gonna say, alright? And definitely well over 100 people who are already there. So, we get there, and there's like 700 people there, and it's snowing. It is snowing. It's high up in the mountains, and it is snowing there, and it's in the middle of literally nowhere. It's in the middle of jack crap nowhere. And there's just nothing but pine trees all over the freaking place, and it's snowing, and it's cold as hell, and I'm just like, get me out of here. Just, I want to, seriously, kill me. And, you know, at first it wasn't that bad, but, it was all going swell until the second night. Alright, so the second night is when things start going down, and that is the night where the story takes place. Alright, so on the second night, we are going to do a night trip. Alright, I don't want to go into that much detail on what the camp actually was. It was big enough, there was enough cabins around to carry 500 students, and I had just a huge freaking suitcase. It was just really annoying, okay? But we had our own cabins, and we had our own bunk beds, and we had our cabin buddies, people who would sleep in the bottom of our bunks, or, you know, share the same bunk with us, alright? I already had my cabin buddy chosen. But anyways, we got all settled in. On the second night, we were going to do a night trip. I think that's what it was called. It was like a night trip or something. A night trip. Like, so we went out in the forest, just to take like a night. Oh, it's called a night hike. Night hike. Just take a hike. Okay. And we had our group separated by cabins. All right. And each cabin was. It was like, I don't know. This is kind of like a follow-up story of some other stories that I've done on my second channel, which will be linked in the description. Where you can go ahead and find that other story of something that happened very, very scary to me in the 9th grade, kind of in the forest, and that's why I hate forests so much. But anyways, continuing on with the story, it's kind of like the same type of cabin. There's 2 cabins inside one. There's 2 cabin groups. The cabin's kind of like divided into 2 rooms, and in the middle there's a bathroom area. And yeah, I was on one side of the cabin where there's the cabin, where my cabin group was. So our cabin group decides to go crazy and say, hey guys, why not we do something fun and just go somewhere way far away, alright? Because usually all the groups were just staying local around the camp and just going around in the dark with their flashlights and stuff. We decided to go all like freaking all over the place. We decided to go crazy and adventurous and go flying out, go hiking out somewhere far away. So my cabin leader was like, alright guys, let's go like way up this path until there is no path anymore, and let's just keep just winging it and going into the forest. So we did that, okay? And on the way there, they were like, alright, so there are some bears and stuff, and right when they said that, I was like, oh god, no. Just, oh god, no. I was in my 6th grade self was just like, oh no. There's bears here, and at the time I was really scared of something called Slenderman and the Rake, those two amazing creepypastas, which I was scared out of my 6th grade freaking underwear. I can't even tell you how bad it was for me to be in 6th grade in the forest, just at the peak of my Slenderman fetish. You know, and at the time I was like completely convinced that Slenderman was real. So on the way, it's like probably 9 or 10. But it's pitch black. You can't even, the only thing you can see is the stars. There's not even a moon outside. We're hiking, and there's like 9 people in our group. So there's nine kids, and then there's 1 leader. And we're probably, I don't know, maybe a mile out from the camp, whereas all the other groups are maybe like only just in the local area. So I was almost sure that I was gonna see Slenderman or something up there, and I don't know. I thought I was gonna die, but on the way there, we took one stop, because there's this clearing in the forest, and that's where we took a break. We took one stop, and yeah, so once we took our break, we all sat down, and we just breathed in the fresh air, and we're like, okay, we're gonna leave in 5 minutes, we're just taking a quick break here, okay? While we're sitting there, we all hear a blood-curdling scream, like a blood-curdling freaking yell that is just unbelievable. It's like, it was a scary yell. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh my god, it's someone's scared or something, or someone just got jump scared, or someone's getting played a prank on. It was like scary, like someone was trying to scare us. It was like predatorial almost. Predatorial? Wait, is that even, I don't, you know, I don't even know. But yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was really annoying and creepy, and we started getting freaked out. So immediately the camp counselor is like, alright guys, so let's just keep going, because, you know, there are wild animals out here, and we don't want to get, you know, in their territory, so we're just gonna leave. If we hear that kind of a sound, kind of like a half human, half animal thing sound, it was creepy. It sounded, I don't even know how to explain it. It was so loud, we thought it was someone else far away, but no, there's no way they could have yelled, and we could have heard it that vibrantly, like a mile away. There's no way. But yeah, so the leader was like, okay, let's just get out of here, and start heading back. And I could have sworn, like, on the way back, I kept on feeling like I was being watched by something. Like, I kept on feeling like we were being followed. I mean, I was in the group of 9 people, so obviously 9 people were trailing behind me, or at least 4. I was kind of like in the middle of the group. I could have sworn I felt like I was being watched, or someone was following us. I could have sworn, like, every once in a while I heard like the trees moving kind of like in an organized fashion. After hearing that scream, there were so many things going through my mind, like I didn't even know. Maybe it was like a grizzly bear or some Bigfoot piece of crap coming after us. And I was like, what the freak is going on here, guys? And so we're just walking back. It takes like 30 minutes for us to get back to the campsite. We're all just talking to each other. We all have our own flashlights. Once we get back to the camp, it's taken us so long for us to get back, and they're already getting ready for bed. Okay. And I'll tell you one thing, that camp definitely wasn't that pleasurable to go to. We had to sing to get our food. Like, we had to gather around, and there's a stage, right? Alright, so we're below the stage, and then all the, like, I'd say maybe 10 total leaders in the entire science trip were on top of the stage, and all the guys had to be below the stage, and they were singing, and we had to sing with them in order to get our food. It was like freaking slavery. I was like, what the freak is this? And the food wasn't even good. I don't even know what the food was. I didn't want to be that one guy who's eating at, you know, the dinner table with a bag of Doritos, but like, I didn't want to eat anything. It was terrible. But anyways, yeah, I got chapped lips and everything. The water tasted terrible there. It was just not overall a fun experience. But anyways, going back to the story, we arrived back at the camp, and we go to our cabin, which figuratively, our cabin is way at the back of the of the camp, literally like at the very last cabin before it's just woods, of course. And so we get there, and our cabin is like one of the least populated. We have like maybe 18 people in our entire cabin, maybe. So whereas like other cabins have like, I don't know, 4 cabin groups, we only had 2 cabin groups. So yeah, others probably would have like around 30 people in them. We had 18, and we're the farthest away from any other cabin, so we're kind of like secluded off into the forest, like, you know, that outsider cabin, you know, kind of surrounded by forest. So yeah, that kind of added a layer of amnesia, not amnesia, the freak, a layer of fear to it, you know, because I had just heard a scream. I felt like I was being watched. Maybe that was just hysteria. You know, at this point I'm just thinking, you know, it's probably just hysteria, I don't know. But I'm just overall kind of freaked out. The only thing that kind of comforts me is that when I get into my cabin, and there's my 9 cabin buddies there, and my friends there in the bottom of my bunk bed. My bunk bed is placed up against the wall, right next to the window. So the window is placed kind of high, so only the top of my bunk bed, which is where I was, am able to see out the window. And it was like blind. It was blind. It had blinds on it. So yeah, my friend who was my cabin buddy was sleeping below me in the bunk bed. I guess you can call it bunk bed buddies, but whatever, you know. So yeah, it's about 11 o'clock, and they're like, alright, so for boys, it's a strict sleeping bedtime at 11 o'clock, okay? And we wake up at 7. Whereas the girls, they get to go to bed at 12 o'clock, and they get to wake up at 9. How sexist is that? Seriously, like, literally, the girls didn't even have to sing for the food. Only the guys had to sing in order to get food. The girls could just walk right into the freaking cafeteria. But anyways, yeah, they were very sexist. Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, so we start winding down, and the other cabin group is already asleep. And then the 2 cabin members, the 2 cabin team, what is it called? The 2 cabin leaders, one for the other group and one for our group. They're both like, all right, wrap it up, let's go, we're going to bed, it's 11 o'clock, we have to get ready. Alright, it's kind of like a strict army kind of camp bedtime. There's no excuses, you're going to bed at 11 o'clock, and that's it. Alright, so lights are off at 11, whether we're ready or not, and I'm in my bed, I'm in my sleeping bag, and it takes like 30 minutes for everyone to stop making stupid sounds and like freaking go to sleep for once, and then after that I go to sleep because of how retarded they were, and I just couldn't sleep over their dumb freaking sound effects. Very unnecessary, but anyways, yeah, I'm asleep, and that's all I remember, okay? And still with the thought of that scream I heard earlier, I go to sleep, hardly, like barely. I'm like, I don't even know how I was able to fall asleep. I was so freaking scared, just a little bit comforted by the company of my other cabin mates, but that was it. Alright, and then I wake up possibly at around 3 in the morning, maybe around 2. I didn't have my phone on me. I didn't have a phone. I mean, I did, but like I didn't use it or anything. I didn't bring it to science camp because apparently it was unpermitted, and there's no service anyways. So I didn't check what time it was. It was probably around 2, and I'm hearing talking outside of the window, because remember I said my bunk bed was right outside the window. I hear talking outside of the window, and it's followed by rapid footsteps, and as far as I can remember, the only thing I hear after that is like 2 minutes later I hear knocking on the window, like my window, the window I'm right next to, and literally I'm face to face with this guy. The only thing separating us is glass and blinds. I don't even know if it was a guy. I don't even know. Then I hear like it starts getting worse. The knocking just gets like someone's trying to get in, like escape from something. And this story sounds really unrealistic, and I know I'm gonna get lots of people who say, "Oh, that's fake." That's fake, guys. That's so fake. Oh my god. That's fake. No, it's not fake. I mean, you could think it's fake, but that doesn't really affect it. It's real. Trust me. Like, it literally has traumatized me to this day, and I will not go into the forest because of this. So I open the blinds up. It's kind of like weird blinds, and I hear the same scream I heard earlier that day. The same scream, except it's like really, really close. Like, basically just outside of the cabin. And I hear the scream, And I'm just like, holy shit, what the freak is going on here? What the actual freak is going on here? And it sounded like it was even more blood-curdling this time. And then I just hear footsteps going around the building, and then kind of just like tripping a little bit, and then going into the forest and kind of disappearing. And that was it. I just heard loud knocking on the window, then the scream, and then like someone was running away from the cabin into the forest right as I opened the blinds. If I had opened it any time sooner, I probably would have seen who was there, and I'm glad actually that I didn't. So that is what happened, and that is partly the reason why I'm so traumatized at the forest, and I just don't and will not go into the forest. Okay. It's after these two experiences, you can see the second experience on my second channel. I'll link it below in the description. After these two experiences, I just can't handle it. I can't handle being in the forest. It's too much. First time, which is 6th grade, so what I'm telling you right now, I was like, okay, you know what, I'll try it one more time. No, after the second experience, I can't handle this anymore. This is too many things are happening in the forest to me, and I just can't deal with it. I was thinking it was like some sort of ghost or Slender Man. I mean, that's the logic of a 6th grader, obviously, but I honestly didn't even know, okay? I woke up the next morning, and I told my friend, my only kind of friend in that cabin, other than the rest of my cabin group, who was sharing my bunk bed. I told him about it. He didn't believe me, obviously, but yeah, that's what happened. And the rest of the time being there was just terrible. I got chapped lips. The water tasted terrible. We went on one more hike, and that was the entire trip. All right, not the funnest experience. Alright, definitely, I would not recommend you doing this, especially not for $500, and especially if you're going to go through the same thing I did that night.